We've got a busy week ahead with the two-headed dragon raid coming up, but at least we don't have any new units to chase and build. However, we do have 2 new vision cards, and this video is going to go over whether or not you should pull. Thank you as always to Worth Vision Calc for your information. Go ahead and support them if you can. And let's get into the first card called Fated Clash, and this is our MR Vision card, and it's probably not one you're going to pull, so let's talk about why. The stats are pretty unremarkable. They're MR stats. You do get some luck there, which is kind of nice. It's nice to be able to stack some luck. It's not an incredibly high amount though. The bestowed ability is interesting, but again, it's kind of niche. So charm resistance could be very, very useful in live PvP and maybe even the tower or something like that. But overall, it's just not going to be applicable in a wide range of scenarios. So this already is a hard sell. So the party ability has to be really good. And it is interesting. So 20 dark attack for your allies, and you know there's so many dark units out there that this is definitely worth looking at, but we already have a very good dark attack card that you can all probably guess what I'm talking about. So that is the Dream Fiend Diabolos, and when you take a look at this card, I mean obviously you get a lot more stats. You get dark attack on the bestowed and the party, and you get so much more. You get an extra 10 dark attack on the party ability. Now if you don't have Diabolos and you know you have a lot of dark units, then yeah, it would be pretty nice to pull this MR card, but you know the same thing kind of goes for MR cards where you're going to get them eventually. I don't think it's an MR card that's actually worth building. You know, you should just wait for Diabolos eventually. Okay, but this card, this is the one that we really need to talk about. So this is called New Test Subjects, and it terrifies me because we've got Lucia there. We know she likes to kind of mess with, well, you know, mess with people is like the nicest way. It's like she's pranking them. No, she likes to like torture people and shoot them. And she's got like a raccoon there, and I'm really worried that the raccoon is going to be her test subject. So hopefully not. But this card is going to be really, really interesting with a pretty insane amount of dex there, 70 dex at max, a lot of attacks, okay HP, and then not a lot of magic. The bestowed ability is acquired AP up, and this is a very intriguing bestowed ability, but we'll see if it's really good in application. And then you get increased missile attack and increased attack resistance. So this is the single target resistance. It's the same thing that Odin does. So this is kind of like the demon wall card where we got, you know, a little less of the attack type bonus and a little less of the, you know, slash resist, the resistance bonus, but you get both. And that's really, really appealing to me because then you can still kind of go for, you know, an aggressive build, especially if you're using multiple missile users, but then you still have that ability to stack some defense, especially if you have a tank. If you have like Engelbert and 2 gunners or Warrior Light and 2 gunners, then you know that attack resistance is going to be so nice for the Warrior of Light, and then everybody else will get your missile attack. So that's definitely cool. And then we get a global upgrade, which is a bestowed ability for Lucia only, and it gives her wind attack up. And this is not like the attack up for, you know, Cecil and Rosa on the demon wall. This is wind attack up, so this is better than the, you know, just that attack stat up on your base stat. So this is definitely a very welcome global exclusive, and they kind of needed to add something on because Frederica's Dream is just such a good card. So for comparisons, well, oh, you know, before we get into the comparisons, I forgot I'm gonna talk about the acquired AP up. That's more important. Okay, so let's take a look. So we're gonna see how much TP you can generate with some of Lucia's regular TP skills that she might use. So firing stance will normally give you 15 TP, as will smokescreen. If you have this card on Lucia, she's actually going to get 19 TP instead. And then vigilance will give you 13 instead of 10. So not really a lot more. That maybe doesn't seem significant. It could be if you're, you know, that puts you just over the edge to use 2 skills in a row, then you know, that could be pretty good. Or if you have a very expensive TP costing TMR ability, then that could generate even more AP. The more TP you spend, the more bonus AP you're going to get on top from the 30%, but it's definitely not a massive amount. Now, what's really interesting about this card is that if you're not using Lucia, so you're not going to take advantage of that global exclusive bestowed effect, then you could actually put this card on your tank and they would be giving the missile attack to everybody else, but the tank would get acquired AP up. And acquired AP on tanks is really, really useful because you need to get to that, especially for paladins, you want to get to that AP requirement for Taunting Blade. And the sooner that you can get there, the sooner you can cement the amount of hate you have on your opponent. And the sooner you can kind of just start controlling the match and not lose hate, and then the rest of your team can kind of clean up. So acquired AP is very, very interesting on a tank, and that's definitely something you can try out with this card. So for comparisons, now we're going to talk about comparisons. The first one is Sharpened Concentration. This is an MR card, and this card is straight up worse than the test subject card. The reason I'm showing it is because this might be a lot of people's missile attack card, but it also gives you some accuracy and it gives you some, you know, attack and stuff. So just to, if you haven't got Frederica's Dream, or you have Frederica's Dream but you have not gotten any shards for it, then you can see that, you know, even your MR version of your missile attack up is not going to compare to the test subjects. So that's definitely like a positive reason to pull for the card. Now, looking at Frederica's Dream specifically, this is a lot better. So 35 missile attack, like if you're going to be stacking attack for gunners, then, you know, I really do think that that's just what you want to do. The gunners are not going to survive a lot of attacks anyway to use that unit resistance. So I really see that as like a bonus for a tank, or in some sort of mixed party where it's just one gunner. But if you're going to go double gunners, like, I don't know, I feel like you'd rather have the missile attack anyway, and then lightning attack up for Frederica or for like a Orlando or something. That's obviously really, really strong as well. So I really think if you have this card, decently built, then you don't need to go for the new card unless you're a big Lucia fan and you want to get that kind of buff for her. But obviously this missile attack party ability is going to clash with the one on test subjects, so it makes it kind of tricky to recommend. Okay, so should you pull? Well, let's look at the pros and cons here. For Fated Clash, you get some charm resist for live PvP. You know, there's lots of dark units that can benefit from this party ability, and you get some luck. But the cons, you get the MR stats. The bestowed ability is very niche, and Diabolos just does it better. So in the end, this card is not recommended. And then the new test subjects, please don't hurt the raccoon. Oh my goodness. This card has a lot going for it. It's very strong for Lucia, obviously. You know, the mixed party effect allows power but still some durability. The non-Lucia users will be more inclined to take advantage of that AP up for other units other than the gunner that they have in their party. And then it has super high dexterity. So high dexterity means you're going to hit more often. High dexterity means you're going to crit more often. And when you crit on a regular attack, you actually get even more AP. So you can really kind of, if that's how your battles usually go, if you're usually getting AP from regular attacking, which is not ideal all the time, then this card could be very good for you in that way as well. So it's definitely very interesting, but at the end of the day, you're probably better off with Frederica's Dream. And it has competition with Odin, and if you're running this new test subjects, then you're not going to be running Odin because you're not going to get the party effect from the Odin. You're only going to get it from one, and a lot of people use Odin because we can buy the shards for it in the guild metal shop. So I would venture a guess that, you know, the vast majority of players have Odin built. If you're a free-to-play player, then Odin might be your best card, and it really sucks to clash with your best card. You basically can't use this with Odin, so that's a huge minus for the majority of players that don't have as big VC catalogs. And then finally, the acquired AP is small. It's, you know, they could have gone a little more with it. I think they could have gone 40% or something, or just a little bit more, because it's tough. You know, on the right ability, stuff that costs more than 30 TP, like for example, if you use this with like Saintly Wall or, you know, some other big TMR ability, then that's going to be super interesting. But for the most part, you're just going to be putting bells on your Lucia anyway to just get her going every single turn. So yeah, at the end of the day, the acquired AP is not enough for me to tell you to pull this. So with that said, it's a big no for both, and I think this is an easy week to skip. We've got more units coming, there's more VCs coming, and we've got the raid to focus on, so don't do yourself the trouble of spending your visiore unless you are a massive Lucia fan, or if you don't have Frederica's Dream and you want a good vision card for your gunners, then you could probably pull for it, but otherwise, don't do it. All right, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know if it was useful, and let me know if you liked my new format with the way that I put the images and stuff, because I worked hard on that the other day, and I'm going to start using that for all my new should you pulls, and then otherwise we'll get to talking in the comments.